culture that is going on anytime you say anything that, maybe questioning or giving your own opinion that's not necessarily in support of the homosexual community. Meaning that, like, I'm not speaking about derogatory terms. I just mean if you don't agree and you publicly state that, you can be canceled. But even as Dave Chappelle pointed out, the baby actually killed someone and his career did not suffer at all. But it suffered for some things that he said on stage at a show. That obviously, you guys, I'm going to get into this document called the Homosexual Manifesto. I'm also, let me see. This is what the National Black Justice Coalition said in a statement in regards to the Netflix special, The Closer. It is deeply disappointing that Netflix allowed Dave Chappelle's lazy and hostile transphobia and homophobia to air on its platform. With 2021 on track to be the deadliest year on the record for transgender people in the United States, the majority of whom are black transgender people, Netflix should know better. Perpetuating transphobia perpetuates violence. Netflix should immediately pull The Closer from its platform and directly apologize to the transgender community. Make no mistake, black LGBT we don't hear about it enough to where, if don't we hear about it? And for the black, we hear about all transgender people being killed. Is it because they're black? Because if so, it would seem to me that your first priority should be fighting the injustices against black people instead of pigeonholing yourself into a group of people that's a super minority and that will still be in danger if black people don't have just equal treatment in court, in the court system, is a challenge for our people. But I don't see homosexuals going through these type of, challenges. They're all over TV. They're overrepresented. They're all in the corporate world. They're not being shot down like dogs. They were not enslaved. And these are just facts. You want to be mad at Dave Chappelle because he agrees with J.K. Rowling, someone else you tried to cancel, because he agrees that gender is a real thing. It's a fact. If you're born with the male anatomy, that makes you a male boy that will grow into a man. Now, if you want to have the surgery to change that, that's on you. But your gender is what you were born. If you want to go by something else, that's on you. That doesn't mean that we should be subject to have to accept that or to play along with your pronoun game and call a grown man a she. And that was in part some of the points that he made, but really gay black people are killed by gay. Consider Dave Chappelle one of her comedic heroes. Now, here's what's interesting about all these people that want to now, I guess this is Jack Lamore. But here's what's interesting about a lot of these people that go against Dave Chappelle. See, Dave Chappelle was one of their favorite artists, one of their favorite comedians, comedic heroes, even. As long as he was, not going against, but as long as, he could say nigga 3 times a minute in his comedies. He can make fun of us like he did in the Chappelle show. It was funny, but, a lot of it was poking fun at black people, or even at white people, or even at Asian people. See, all that was a go. The one people that you just can't make fun of or you can't make feel any kind of way is the homosexuals. They want to be equal, but they don't want to have to so be chastised in ways that comedians chastise everybody and everything. That's their job. Just be treated with dignity, respect, and be treated equally. But being treated in an episode, I thought it was kind of corny. And it had a lot of this agenda in it. And apparently, if this is one of the writers, see, now we see what's happening. See, now you see how this is an influential part of every fabric of society. Even in black society, we're subject to people who aren't even black that have to influence our art that's supposed to be targeted towards us. But are they letting us influence art that's supposed to represent them? Dave Chappelle's bottles thrown at me, so I'm done. I'm not a real woman. I really don't think that people that watch Dave Chappelle are the ones that's going out attacking people. I just don't believe that. And as far as her not being a real woman, well, she's not. You're not a real woman. You're a man who transitioned to a woman because you wanted to identify as that. That doesn't mean that you're a real woman. You don't have a menstrual cycle. You can't have a baby. You can go back to being a man anytime you want. It doesn't, you know what I mean? Say all kinds of racial black jokes against blacks. But if it's funny, it's funny. And if you don't like it, you don't watch it. Right? They're trying to kill the voice of anything that goes against their cause. YouTube channel that I was, the Nettercat channel that's been removed. And this is in part why they're pushing this agenda and why they're attacking who doesn't support it. They're not just attacking you, pushing for violence against them, because no one's really doing that. If you're not in full support and push it, they're getting rid of you. They're neutralizing heterosexual. I'm just going to read this so you can see for yourself. I'm not making this up. So this is by Michael Swift, Gay Revolutionary, reprinted in the Congressional Record of the United States Congress, first printed in Gay Community News, February 15th to 21st, 1987. So this is something from 1987. Let's see if this has came to be in 2021. So we shall sodomize your sons, emblems of your fetal dreams and vulgar lies. We shall seduce them in our schools, or in your schools, in your dormitories, in your gymnasiums, in your sports arenas, your seminaries, in your sports groups, in theater bathrooms, in your army houses, in your truck stops. We shall sculpt statues of beautiful young men and bold athletes, which will be placed in your parks, on your squares, your will make love. They're setting trends. Lil Nas X. Right? Let's get back to business. We will eliminate heterosexual liaisons through through usage of the redeeming the rainbow 203 devices of wit and ridicule devices which we are skilled at employing. We will the powerful homosexuals who masquerade as heterosexuals. You will be shocked and frightened when we find that your presidents and their sons, your industrialists, your senators, your generals, your athletes, your film stars, your television personalities, your civic leaders, your priests are not the safe, familiar, bougie, heterosexual figures you assume them to be. We are not the middle class weaklings, highly intelligent. We are the natural aristocrats of human race, and steely-minded aristocrats never settle for less. Those who oppose us will be exiled. We shall rise vast private armies as Mishima did to defeat you. We will conquer the world because warriors inspired by and banded together by homosexual love and honor are invincible as we were the ancient Greek soldiers. The family unit spawning grounds of lies, betrayals, mediocrity, hypocrisy, and violence will be abolished. They're abolishing the family unit. The family unit, which only dampens imagination and curbs free will, must be eliminated. Perfect boys will be conceived and grown in the genetic laboratory. They'll go so far to genetically grow homosexuals. So it's not far-fetched to think that maybe some of these homosexuals that are adopting same-sex babies, and those babies end up being gay. It's not far-fetched to think that they're grooming them if they'll go so far as to grow. All churches who condemn us will be closed. Our only gods are handsome young men. We adhere to a cult of beauty, moral, aesthetic. All that is ugly and vulgar and banal will be annihilated. Since we are alienated from middle-class heterosexual conventions, which they're not, we are free to live our lives according to the dictates of the pure imagination. For us, too much is not enough. So you see how they brought little Nas in with the baby stuff, right? With the, not the baby, but with the children books, the Sesame Street. So check this out. Because they said too far is not too much, right? Hence why you've seen the video. Hold up. Damn it. Hence why you can have a Lil Nas X twerking with the devil, dancing in a jail with naked men, claiming that he's pregnant, and also claiming this.
Oh my God. Okay, first I want to say thank you to the gay agenda. Let's go, gay agenda.
So he knows what it is. He knows what got him where he's at. I mean, if you look at his tour record, his tours for this year and next year, he has 5 dates. About a week and a half of touring from late November to early December. That's it. So it's not like he's some household, everyone's just can't wait to buy his music and go see him live. That's not that. They put him up there because of the agenda. Hold up, man. Let me see. I'm not going to show the video. I mean, you know, stuff like this right here. Wearing a dress because now he's pregnant. Look it. This is what they're pushing. Twerking with the devil in this video, right? Salacious shit. That is what made Lil Nas X, not his talent. Because he doesn't have any talent. But this is what, you know, this is what they're trying to do, right? This is why when we say it's an agenda, it's an agenda. This is why they attack anyone who doesn't agree with it. This is why they're now in law. These laws are changing. The media is changing. This is why they're purposely creating films and TV that pushes it. This is why they're silencing any voices. The exquisite society, because for them, too much is not enough. The exquisite society to emerge will be governed by the elite compromise of gay poets, or comprised of gay poets. One of the major requirements for a position of power in the new society of homoeroticism will be indulgence in the Greek passion. So basically, if you want to get the power now, you have to be gay. Any man contaminated with heterosexual lust will be automatically barred from a position of influence. All males who insist on remaining stupidly heterosexual will be tried in a homosexual courts of justice and will become invisible man. We shall rewrite history. History filled and debased with your heterosexual lies and distortions. We shall portray the homosexuality of the great leaders and thinkers who have shaped the world. We will demonstrate that homosexuality and intelligence and imagination of inextricably linked, or are inextricably linked, and that homosexuality is a requirement for the true nobility and beauty in a man. We shall be victorious because we are filled with the ferocious bitterness of the oppressed who have been forced to play seemingly bit parts in your dumb heterosexual shows throughout the ages. Like this is almost a juvenile type of hatred and rebellion of nature. We too are capable of firing guns and manning the barricades and of the ultimate revolution. Tremble, hetero swine, when we appear before you with our man. But let's just get back to this. Where's it at? One of the requirements, boom. Any man contaminated with heterosexual lust will be barred from positions of influence, and all males who insist remaining stupidly heterosexual will be tried in the courts and will become invisible men. What more needs to be said? You want to know why they're attacking Dave Chappelle? There it is. You want to know why they're pushing the Lil Nas X's, talentless as he could be? You want to know why they continue to have these black men, particularly more black men than because this homosexual agenda, white supremacy, racism, it's all the same. They're all connected. That's why they must make us conform to this shit. That's why they go against us the most when it comes to wanting to cancel those who don't agree with being gay. This is why they make black men come out in dresses on all these different award shows. All these different rappers and athletes and actors that have to come out as being homosexual or wear a dress. They're not pushing this on white artists the same way. They're pushing on us. For one, because that's what's going to legitimize them as a civil rights movement. Right? Now they could be the minority civil rights movement and now have influence in things that have to do with us. This is what happened in the reparation hearing when they had that Coleman Hughes dude, a nobody, gay advocate, telling the Congress that we don't need reparations. Even though the majority of LGBT are middle class or upper middle class, privileged, middle-aged white people. Remember when, let's go back to the Orlando shooting. For those who remember when that Orlando shooting happened a few years ago. And at first the narrative of that Orlando shooting was that this was a ISIS homophobe terrorist. They said this dude was this because he was an Arab of Arab descent. So they said he was linked with ISIS. He's terrorist, homophobic. They even said that in the middle of the shooting, he let some black people go because he claimed that black people have been through enough. So basically, they were trying to link black people with ISIS terrorism. Make a connection there. As if Arabs aren't just as racist as Europeans. But what blew that thing over, pause, the reason why they couldn't continue on that road of this was a homophobic terrorist shooting was because they found out that the shooter also was gay. So they didn't say it's gay on gay crime. What are we going to do about the self-hate in our community like they do for us when we say the police are shooting us? They just dropped it because they found out, oh, this guy was gay. He had some kind of gay app on his phone. He had a relationship with one of the people that he killed who apparently gave him a sexually transmitted disease and then left him. And that's why he went on that rampage. So that didn't fit their narrative. So that's why that story died. But now I'm just going to show you a couple things before I get out of here. Just to answer Dave Chappelle's question. Can you be homophobe or homosexual and racist? Because think about it. As much as they act like they need this, they don't want equal rights. They want to rule over us. This is what they said right here in this gay manifesto, homosexual manifesto, whatever. They don't want to be equal. They want to rule over us. And because we know these days they are in a lot of powerful positions, as they said they would be, and because white supremacy has not loosened their grip of control over us, we have to assume that homosexuals are just as racist, if not more, than heterosexual white people. Because if they're really about, equality and they've been oppressed, then it would seem like the things that are challenging us as black people would be lessened, seeing that there are a lot more people of influence that are homosexual in power. But you want to know what they really think about you? This is from an interview I did with Irritated Genie 5 years ago on Black Stand Radio. I'm just going to pick out a couple of these calls from some of these people that, called in that day.
Absolutely. Let's go to Daniel Baggins.
Hey.
Peace, Black Stand Radio. Peace.
Hey. So I love what you're doing. I love the movement, and I was just I had a question. I was wondering.
There
Hello?
you go. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So I have a question about Michael Jackson and transracials. Sorry. My dog is bothering me. Yeah, so Michael Jackson, and what do you guys think about... Hello?
Yeah, man.
So, yeah, I was wondering about Michael Jackson and the transracial movement and like transracialism and what you think about people transitioning from white to black. Like I'm actually in the middle of my transition right now, so I'm trying to eat a little more like fried chicken and eat more watermelon to help the process, the transition go faster,
Well, the best way you
And
can transition from white to black is kill as many of your white people as you can, and then we'll accept you. You know what I'm saying?
No, but
My standpoint is I can only know the sincerity of a white person after they die. You dig? So
No.
you do that John Brown thing, we got you, but you out for now. You want to respond to that?
Yeah, I was going to say.
Here's another one.
The hate only comes when you're being effective at doing something. So never have.
Hey, look, let me just say this. Let me say this. Look, I know a lot of y'all are soldiers. We got crack in the street killer. I'm a crack in your mind killer. So if they come on, we just shoot them down and go keep it moving.
Let's do it. So let's get to this next one. Hopefully they ain't on that same bullshit.
Hey,
You're on Black Radio.
you're a fucking tree swinging monkey.
So as you can see, yeah, the racism is real, even within the gay community. So yeah, we had to clap back at them because they were calling with the hatred. So we returned the hatred with equal parts. But as you can see, like this is what they do. So it's not a surprise. You know what I'm saying? That they want to come after, and they even use our own people, our own publications, even though really the roots ain't really for us. But they're trying to make it seem like everyone's against Dave Chappelle, even our own people. But when you read the comments of people who watched the closer, you'll see overwhelmingly he is supported. Not just by black people, he's supported by his fans. People who love Dave Chappelle still love Dave Chappelle. Period. And anyone with common sense would know that what he was saying made sense. And it wasn't out of hatred. And he even gave the story about a transgender person that he befriended and let open up for a show. And how this person, after defending Dave Chappelle, was ridiculed and chastised so much that they ended up killing themselves. They ended up killing themselves because of their own community ridiculing them so much. But you didn't hear an outlash or backlash about that. You didn't hear no outcries about that. No one was like, hey, we got to stop this self-hate and this homo on homo crime, this trans on trans crime. They don't do that. That's what they do when we say the police should stop killing us. They start capping with black on black crime. But when they do it, they don't say shit. In fact, they're so on code that they will actually sacrifice their own if it goes against their narrative. Because remember, any man contaminated with heterosexual lust will be automatically barred from a position of influence. All males who insist on remaining stupidly heterosexual will be tried in homosexual courts of justice and will become invisible man. Hence, why the backlash? Shame on you, Root. Let me know what you guys think out there. I know I did this as a live stream, but I made it private just to make sure it comes out good. But that's all I wanted to do. I didn't want to make it too long, But, hey, it is what it is. Make sure you support this because they surely will try to cancel me and have this channel removed as they did my last channel. So that's all I want to say, you guys.